All right, we're gonna all sit down. We're gonna start like this. So you guys, this is going to be a 30-day program, and I can almost feel like some of you may not be able to do everything we do, okay? See how you can just do what you can. And then if there's something you can't do, I'm gonna always show like 2 different versions. So right now, just sitting like this is a lot of work for people, okay? So if you take your mat and you just kind of roll it up, you kind of just add a little lift to under your butt. It automatically helps this part of your back stay flat. Okay, babies? Welcome to my WebEx. My group is in here too, guys. So if you see me talking to someone, it's not myself. No, yeah. So we're just gonna have a seat for a second. Oh my God, there's a hole in my pants. We're gonna sit up. Now the first kind of a minute I wanna take here, I wanna get your body adjusted to sitting like this, because a lot of people have a hard time sitting like this, and today I wanna start off with our core. So if you are having a hard time sitting like this, if you bring some extra towels with you, you can roll it and put it underneath the back of your knees, and that kind of helps this part of your hip, okay? So you have a little bump under your butt. I'm gonna take mine away, okay guys? Because I've been practicing and I don't wanna kind of go backwards. So I've been sitting very straight lately, even when I try to sit on the couch, trying to think of my tailbone and the back of my head. So for the first 30 seconds, we're gonna drop the hands next to you, close your eyes, and let's just focus on breath. And when he gets out of here, you guys, we can really thank you. This is the only place I like to come in because I know no one's gonna keep coming in and out of this room except Ulf. Okay, Ulf, you're not allowed to come in here for 30 straight minutes. Okay, bye. All right, he's leaving, thank God. Whew. Breathe, guys. You guys, I can't even go and turn the water on the shower on without him coming in and saying something to me. He's just like, you know where you just want to be alone? He's like, oh, you're taking a shower? Yeah. And then I sit on the toilet, he walks in, what are you doing? Going to the bathroom. I'm in my spiritual room, he walks in. It's almost like a fly. How many of you guys have flies around? Let's flex our feet. And I'm serious, let's empty our minds of everything and everyone and just the present moment. That's what I like to practice with you today. Being in the present moment where you can actually give yourself this time that you give to everybody else. And you know what's actually interesting is and I don't know if you guys notice this, when you are trying to create a little time for yourself, the phone rings, people call, people want you, put it away. I saw Ulf again, I just saw him again. It's an addiction he has. He can't be away. Close the door, please. Now, here's a good thing to show you while you're there. See this roller? This is basically how we should be sitting, right? From our tailbone all the way to the crown of my head. Not sitting like this, not sitting crouched, sitting tall. That's our spine. So if you want, right now, you can go against the wall. Imagine sitting nice and tall against the wall. and trying your very best to not use your hip flexors when we sit. So if you have a roller, and especially Fawn, a lot of you who sit a lot, you know, for work, I really want you to grow your spine while you're sitting. So just imagine yourself sitting really tall. The crown of my head is shooting up towards the sky. My chin is in. I look a little uptight. And all I want you to do right now is you're gonna bounce your knees for 20 seconds. But how am I bouncing them? Through my core. So if I'm sitting like this, what I'm trying to do is create a long spine. So I push my shoulders down, I tuck my chin back, and I'm just gonna start bouncing, picking up one knee at a time, releasing a little tension. Some people tell me it's hard to bounce my knees and breathe at the same time. Okay? So inhale first. Hold your breath, and when you're ready to breathe out, or try it the other way. Inhale, exhale. And you know what? I'm trying to take your mind off this because sitting like this is a chore. We're not used to this, sitting this straight, this tall. Point, flex, bounce. Watch how I point, one at a time. If you're a little bit more advanced, you can do both. You notice I'm doing a little point, a little circle, bounce. I'm trying to figure out what could be stuck down in my ankle, down in the tops of my feet. Take a second, just for one moment, turn your body to the side, bring the legs in, and just sit a little bit curved. So if I sit curved, my butt is on your right-hand side, both butt cheeks. So how do we separate our body? Do I go like this? Do I slouch? No, I sit tall. So I have both my knees, both my feet on one side, and this is my waist. So I'm just gonna go here, but I wanna sit tall. So I'm just reaching from one side to the other side. How? Through my waist, that's my sacrum, solar plexus. If I take my solar plexus and I inhale, exhale, pull that belly button into my earth, into my stomach, our earth, our spine. I want you to think of something when you twist. You twist from the stomach first as if you're emptying your breath, then it's your rib, then it's your chest, then it's your gaze. How do I come back? Through my navel. Do I just slouch? No, everything is about putting our hands down and pushing away. Again, it's your waist, it's your rib, it's your chest, it's your shoulder, it's your gaze. For 30 seconds, we're gonna flow. Inhale, exhale. What's my exhale? Fully twisting from my waist, chest, shoulder, gaze. Never sinking, just pushing away. If this hurts you, if you're sitting on a cushion, there's no way it will hurt you. So that same pillow you had earlier, you can use it now. basically all you're moving is above your waist. But do it all together, your back. Waist, chest, shoulder, gaze. You can't come back in here ever again. Lock the door. I just locked the door on Ulf. Remember, you can use your hand against your outer thigh. Remember, when you're twisting, you're going from your waist, shoulder blades, head. If your legs are opening up a lot, it's because your hips are extremely tight. So let it stay open. Don't worry about it. Just sit on a pillow. Sorry, guys, nothing is going to change, immediately. Everything is going to take some time. Your hips are extremely tight. When you have tight hips, it's very hard to keep your knees together. That's what I yell at my students. If you're one of my students, I yell at you a lot about keeping your knees. And 90% of my students, their knees are always out because hips are tight. As much as people think they stretch, they don't, because our hips need a certain stretch. You ready, guys? Extend your legs, back out. We're going back to sitting straight again. That nice, long, tall. Stick something under your butt cheek. Get a little bit of a lift. You'd be surprised how many people I've trained, yoga teachers, Pilates teachers, who teach others, and they're so tight. So today we're going a little deeper. So you have to you gotta keep your eyes shut, because if you're doing this in front of a mirror, or if you're watching yourself do this, you're probably not gonna like it, because there's certain things your body's not gonna be able to do. Let's point, let's flex. Now, if you see what I'm doing right here, I'm opening my legs in, out. But how do I do that? I do it from my thighs. This is all my inner thighs. So what I want you to do is a windshield wipe. Now, I think one leg at a time is probably better. You'll notice which one of my legs hooks onto my hip. Sit straight. Yes. Draw the chin in. There's one thing that's extremely important, is sometimes we think that our entire lengthen means just our spine. No, it's everything that goes with it, right? So my toes have to point through. I gotta keep my feet flexed. I'm trying to become one with the ground. So when I open and I close, I can feel that I'm trying to release my inner. So what I want you to do now is, instead of bouncing, we're gonna bring one in at a time. Now, if you're boosted up here a little bit higher, what happens, it takes that stress out of your back. It gives you a little feeling of going forward. So it makes it a little easier right here to lift. Now I want you to always imagine a book on your head. These little fine moves are really hard. I've had people come to my sessions, and they're professional yogis or professional Pilates instructors. They'll come in, and these little tiny moves that I'll teach them, they say that it's like harder than doing like a yoga stand, you know, because it's fine. Like right now, me dropping these, opening, lifting, all of this has to happen without my hips involved. So all of this right now, I'm not stuck to the little wire right there. Okay, let's do that for another 10 seconds. Today's your practice. And you know what practice is good for? Our ego. A lot of people are not gonna wanna go backwards. Like, you know, some people are very strong in their fitness regimen, and I'll teach them something and then they have to start back. But if you're doing lunges wrong, you're doing squats wrong, you're doing lifts wrong, you know, by the time you're 60 and 70, it starts to creep up. But these days, they creep up in earlier. People in their 20s are having trouble. I meet people that are 40 years younger than me, and their physical body's already falling apart. So it's so important to take care of our ligaments, our tendons, our joints. Okay, ready? We're gonna go now to the other side. Now this side for me is so much harder because my hips, and you know, we're all lopsided, believe it or not. So again, when you sit like this, add a little cushion to your cushion. That way you don't feel, like if you are lopsided, at least be lopsided in your waist. So your stomach is holding you. You're in the waist. Hi, everybody coming in. Welcome, my loves. Again, where's our waist? Now, if I do this, I'm straight. This, I'm not. So how would I know if I'm straight or not? Interesting enough, both of my butt cheeks, when I go on this side, I can touch both my butt cheeks. On this side, oops, I have a hard time, right? So right now, my goal is to try to get my butt down through my waist and try to, see, that's all I can do on this side. Stuck. Do I force it? No, I come back. And I put my hand here strong, long, and I push that earth away from me, trying to lengthen my waist, butt down, arms are long, pushing in, pushing away. So I'm not going like this, I'm going boom, boom, waist, chest, gaze. Drop that breath. Inhale. You'll notice how your neck is stuck. You do everything one by one, okay? So you go waist first, then shoulders, then gaze. Inhale to create space, exhale to fill it. It's about grounding, pushing into the earth, not sinking, lengthening your crown chakra longer, longer, and longer. Beautiful. This is so good for Louisa too. Anyone who stands a lot. I stand all day. I never sit. The only time I sit is at the end of the day. Even on TikTok, I never sit. That's why I have standing desks all around my house. I can't sit. And if I have to sit, I might sit on a ball, because I notice myself, you know, if you're heavy up here, you tend to always be like this, no matter how much you try not to. Let's do a couple more, okay? Stay there. I'm gonna put my phone away. It keeps beeping, sorry. Good job, guys. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and come out of it. And this time, you're gonna take your towel, you're gonna roll it up, just like this. You're gonna roll it up like they do in spas. You know, they take the towel and they roll it nice and rolly. And you're gonna stick it right underneath the back of your neck. So I'm gonna take this away in a second. I just don't have a towel here. Now, a roller is a little big for what I'm about to do, but if you're advanced, you can do it. So that means that you want the roller right underneath the head. So that means our shoulders are off the towel. So when I lie back, the crown of my head is not touching the ground. What I'm trying to do here is separate my shoulder from my ear. And I want to keep my chin up. So if I turned my head to the left, my chin would be parallel to the sky. If I brought it back to the middle and then to the other side, you'll notice that you have to slightly lift your chin to keep your cheek parallel to the sky. You can also do it flat. But doing it with that little roll helps your separation. So let's say you don't even have a towel and you want to try it. You can take your own mat and you can do the same thing with it. You just want to feel like a little boost where you're separating the back of your head and your shoulder. Now, you know what's the hardest part of this is moving the head side to side. That's why we have that towel under there, so you can use it for resistance. So if I stay in the middle right now and I push down on the back of my head on the inhale, and then on the exhale, gently turned my gaze, but kept my chin exactly parallel. There's a place where it gets creaky and you can't go anymore. Then you stop. You focus on breath. And you just lift your chin a little bit and you bring it down a little bit. It's like you're trying to massage your scalp. And while you're doing that little down up lift, you're creating a little more space in that tension. Come back to the middle and go back to that same side again. Right where it stops, lift up, lift down, side. Up, down, side. Come back to the middle. Lift your chin up. Inhale. The reason I'm not talking too much about the breath, it's going to be too much information for your sensory. So right now you just have to learn, how do I move my head to the opposite side now? I'm going to leave my chin slightly lifted so that when I turn, my cheek is exactly parallel. I lift up and down, middle and side. Just focus on nice breaths. There'll be times where we'll focus on breath and then come back to the middle. So what you're doing right now is you'll notice that every time you go to one side, it gets a little easier, right? So what am I doing? I'm untying the shoelace. Up, down, side. Up, down, side. And then come back to the middle. So every time you go to one side, you're going to give it a second where your body is just kind of going, it's pushing into the surface. So you're using a little bit of that. Hi, everybody, welcome. Oh, I know, Haley. You do a lot of your high heel dancings and stuff. Yeah, I've noticed your hips. I've told you before. A lot of that, you know, those types of classes, they kind of tear up your hips. You have to be careful. I taught chair dancing and pole dancing for like 25 years. Let's come back to the middle. Good job. Open up the arms. I hope that felt really good. Now what we're going to do now is you're going to take your lower belly and you're going to push it into the earth. Push it into the earth. So even though I have this additional added tension behind the back of my head, I want it to feel good, not pressing anywhere on the nerves. So I'm going to slide my feet forward to the point where my tailbone and my pelvis feel like they're living on the ground. I'm going to open my palms and close my palms. How am I doing that? The same way we do it with our legs. We don't want to open and close through our joints. So first start with your hands, then twirl from your elbow, push it, and then bring it back. So when you open your hand through the elbow, through the armpit, through under the arms. So if I want to open and close, when I have my hands down, it feels snug. My shoulders are hugging the ground. If I open one up at a time and push down on them, lift my chest up off the ground by pushing into the back of my head. Then bringing it back down, pressing the palms down one at a time. Exhale. Push down on your palms. Open. Now watch, I'm going to let my inner thighs open. How? Are they stuck to my bones? No. Bring them lower. Where am I using? My outer thigh, my inner thigh, my core. Bring them back in through the belly. Find my inside feet. Taking the palms across. Long arms. Expand the shoulder blades on the ground. Open the inner thighs. Through the inner thighs. Flex the feet. Point. Close. Bring them together. Opposite hand goes around. You're trying to lay out your shoulder blades. Open. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide my feet to touch. I'm going to push into both my feet, my heels, and I'm going to lift my butt on the squish. You don't have to go high. Don't put the pressure in your head. Put the pressure in the shoulder blades. Come down gently through the belly. Once the belly and the tailbone touches, open the thighs a little bit more. Inhale, exhale, push into your feet. Feel the butt. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. How do I come back down? Slowly. Letting my butt help me bring down my navel. And then once I feel my tailbone, I could open the rest. This time we're going to bring the palms towards each other, not to touch. Long arms. You might have a little hard time right here where the pillow is. That's okay. Lengthen and lift your chest. Push down on the back of your head. Bring it back down. Open. Churn. Push. We're going to lift 8 times. 1. Inhale. Bring it all the way down. Once you do, separate the legs again and open through the thighs. Bring them together, point and flex. We're going to lengthen. We're going to lift our upper back. We're going to lift that shoulder off the ground. Push into the back of the head. Bring it down. Bring that navel into the earth. Flex the feet. Grab just the head. You are going to melt your head up slowly. We're pushing our belly into the ground. My toes are straight up. Come back down onto the pillow. Leave your head there. Open up the arms. Expand. You can do right here. I'm going to go here. Now, some of us are going to be able to come up. Don't do it because I'm using no momentum whatsoever. Only if you don't use momentum. That's all you have to do today. Let's go for 1 minute. Let's do a couple more. Really feel that pushing into the earth, exaggerating it. Imagine yourself today, you're bobendum. You're stretching your whole body out like a rubber band. Nice work, guys. Whenever you're done, sit up for me. And I want you to grab a band. And I'm going to tell you something where all your troubles have begun. Your feet. This is where all the trouble has begun. So if you have a band, any kind of band, a towel, the same towel you just used, you can use that again. Imagine if this was a towel. I love when people tell me, well, I don't have the gear. Well, baby, you can make it. Shit. You have a belt. You have everything you need, you guys. You don't need to buy anything for fitness. If I came to your house, I could probably find millions of things that you could use. You can even use your mat. Don't tell me I don't have this, I don't have that. I'm gonna get my workout shoes to model. I'm gonna get some workout stuff. That's what my clients always tell me, don't worry. Tomorrow we'll work out. I'm like, we can't stretch every day, sir. Okay, we gotta do some workouts. Go get some cans. They don't even know where their cans are. They don't even know, they don't know anything. Half the people I train don't even know their assistants' names. I'm not even joking. Sit up straight, guys. So if I'm using a towel or a band, what my goal is I'm trying to lengthen the hamstrings. But I don't want to lengthen like this, right? So let me show you. How do I lengthen my hamstrings without having to slouch? So the best way to lengthen a hamstring is through the butt all the way down to the heel, right? And that's how you do splits. Because if you're not open here, that's the problem most people do their splits on one leg, because I've been training dancers my whole life, basically. And I've noticed that they're always lopsided. Yes, they can kick all the way up here, but they can't kick with both. So what happens is eventually it's that an imbalance that you get hurt. So right now you probably can feel it. Which hamstring feels tighter if you pulled it towards you? Can you find that there's a lock somewhere? So let's focus on that for a minute. Sit up tall, breathe, inhale. And on your exhale, I want you to pull your toes towards you, lengthen the heels, and then on your inhale, just point them. Exhale. Now, if you want to reach, you got to reach with a flat back. Let's do that for 30 seconds. You can ask me here, Esmeralda. My legs are more closed after those. Yes, we can work on it, Haley. It's also because you do things with heels. Hi, Survivor. These will stay on here, Esmeralda. So right now, you know what you're doing is you're stretching from the butt all the way down to your toes. This is some of my favorite stretches. Obviously, I'm very open in this stretch. I'm just practicing trying to fold myself into a suitcase soon. But I wasn't like this my whole life, but I'll tell you where I was very locked, and once I opened it, it's your piriformis. And if you're not open on both sides, what happens is you can feel it right here. Okay, so your goal is to feel it from the butt all the way to the bottom of that heel. Let's do it for another 10 seconds. But this time while you're holding your band, see if you can bring yourself to it, but not rounding. Sometimes we round, but we're tipping. You have your band, pull yourself towards it. Please make sure you're breathing, guys. Every one of these matter. Every one of these deserves an inhale and an exhale. Inhale is to create. Exhale is to let it go. I would love to see your pancake split. Haley, send me a picture of it. I'll guarantee you it's not a pancake. The only way you can do a pancake split is if both hips are completely open. It's probably that you're like this, you know, but a pancake split is like this. And that's what I try to teach a lot of dancers, is that they'll do it from here, you know, but a pancake split is when your toes, I don't know if you can see it, has to be straight up, and when you come down, you should be able to do this. And that's when you know your hips are completely open. So that's probably why you're having a hard time, because pancake splits pretty much are done really incorrect. So be very cautious, guys. I'm gonna teach you guys a lot of that. Good, because that's actually the whole point. A lot of people wanna learn how to do the splits. I taught an 84-year-old lady. She can do the splits. If I can teach her, I can teach any of you. And she never worked out a day in her life, Helen. I showed her 4 things to do, and one day I walked into the gym bathroom, and there she was in a pancake split, 83-year-old lady. I was like, whenever you're ready, guys, I want you to just throw out your towel, look at me. I'm gonna turn to my side. I'm gonna lift my butt, and we're gonna come on up. Send me a picture, Haley, so I can help you adjust it. Yeah, send me a picture. Okay, come on up. Now, when you come up, I want you to walk for me for a second. Tell me how good that feels. When our hamstrings are open, there's this sense of calmness. It's a sense of peace. I don't know, it's just like a flow. But I want you to take this last minute with me, okay? And I want you to find an area that you can walk. And when you walk, one, we're gonna stand tall. We're gonna draw your chin in. When I walk, I'm gonna walk with my heel to my toe, heel to my toe, heel to my toe. Finishing the move. Oh, you'll get them back. Jesse, you'll get I'll get your splits back. There's not anybody that can't get their splits back. How good does it feel when you walk from the right place? But what do you feel when you walk? Here's the thing I want to ask you. When you walk, what do you feel in your feet? Do you feel all 4 corners of your feet? So when you step that foot in front of you from the heel, go down, and I guarantee you that the inside of your foot is not being used enough. So when you go here, stand on all 4 corners of your front foot, and when you go to step the other one up, it's like you're doing a little, it's like I'm standing in my balance. So you have to be in the entire leg. That's the whole point, right? We can't walk like this, like Ulf. You want to all walk like Ulf walks? He's the funniest walker I've ever seen in my life. And sometimes the kids and we pay attention to him. Oh no, shit, you were there? Shoot, I just got hot. I was just trying to open the door. Nothing, no one called you, we're fine. Sometimes the kids and I watch Ulf when he's doing things, and he's walking around like this. I always ask him, Ulf, what are you looking for? Your head? Trying to find your head? And look at the shirt he's wearing. The head, you're wearing a head. Heel to toe, heel to toe, heel to toe. Now, watch this. Open up your legs and let's teeter-totter. By the way, to my WebEx people, right after this, I'm gonna do a quick workout for us. Sorry to ruin your stretching. Sorry to ruin your stretching today. What am I doing here? Am I going like this? No, I'm standing as straight as I can in my leg and lifting the other one. From where? My bones? No, from my foot. From the inside of my foot to the outside of the other one. That's my inner thigh. See how I twirl it? I twirl it, right? Twirl it. So if I went here, here, here. It all came from here. Here, here, here. So it's from under. So if you have a wall, a chair, don't be afraid to use it. So if I go to my side, am I all four corners of my standing feet? Absolutely. So I go here, here, sometimes just practicing this today. It's just like learning how all of this can be done from under. It's a pretty good gift to have when you can do things evenly with your body. That's my strength as a fitness teacher. My strength is I'm very even with my body because I take pride in that. I really do. It's my career, so. You can feel the adjustment that happens. And once you figure it out, it goes from under here and your waist, all of a sudden you can do them bigger. Let's do 2 more. Make sure you breathe. Make sure you breathe. Exactly. Oh, plantar. Okay, so plantar. You know what you should be doing? You should be icing your heels. When you have plantar fasciitis, whatever it's called, putting your heel in ice every night is phenomenal. Just take some ice cubes, throw them in the bathtub, and just sit at the edge of your bath or a sink and just put your heels in it. Nice work, you guys. I love when you take time. When you take the time, that's everything. Timing. We're gonna do one last one. Yes, except Grace, you just have to slow down. Sometimes, Grace, you go from like A to Z. I want you to go from A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Sometimes, you know, like when we were doing our planks yesterday, I noticed you, Grace, you were trying to lift the leg and you couldn't even plank yet. So we have to do things like, even though my ego gets in my way in my fitness, it does. Like if I'm in a room with other strong women or men like myself, I can become a crazy, beast. And that's when I usually hurt myself. So we have to remember that our workouts are for us, and sometimes we're too hard on ourselves. It's not even that we're competing. It's that we want it so bad. So be kind and be gentle. Last thing I'm gonna do is I want you to open up your legs as wide as you possibly can stand. I'm gonna wear my ugly shoes for you. These are the best shoes in the world, even though they're ugly. I don't care. I don't care. I'll wear them everywhere. Open them up. Now, remember that today's lessons was learning how to separate all this, right? So if you were sumo, have you seen sumo wrestlers? They're humongous on top. So if you were a sumo wrestler, how would you bring yourself down? You would even out your weight, right? So there's two ways of doing it. So if they have very big bellies, so they kind of push their butt out a little bit, you know, to even it out, and then they sink into their thighs. You can do this against the wall. Then, how do you go back up? Let's drop one hand at a time. Let's lift the butt through the inner thighs. Now, this time I want you to surrender. Now my butt is holding me. I'm too flexible, so my elbows touch the ground. So try your best. Try your best to balance right here. And we're gonna just swing and swing. But what am I swinging? Just my upper body. You can even do this sitting down. Just throw your body down off the couch, off your chair. How do we come back up? Suck the navel. Roll up slow. How do I lift my head? Once my navel can't do anymore, I'll roll my shoulders up. Slow and controlled. Nice. Swing. Good way to clean the floor with your hair. Roll it up. One more, okay? I'm sure this was more than 30 minutes, but that's okay. Once you start doing these, you're gonna like it anyway. Let it go. And the next time you roll it up, just stand right in your present moment. Balance yourself up. And slow down your breath by taking deep inhales and deep exhales. See this? Nothing is moving here. It's all above. 20 seconds. Let it go, baby. Thank you guys for joining today's somatics. This will all stay, okay? Don't join in the middle. Don't come back on Thursday. Do this one first, okay? We're gonna go in a flow.